Okay, putting two cool ones together today. So tuck planche and a handstand. So handstand to tuck planche. Now, obviously, to do this, you need a handstand and you need a tuck planche. Um, so if you don't have one of those, I've done some other tutorials on learning a planche. Band assist is probably the best way to get the understanding, the feeling of a tuck planche because it's a little bit different. Working protraction holds and tuck planches with a band assist. I'm going to show a couple of band options in today's video, but it's more about the transition. All right, let's jump straight in. So this is the movement. As you can see, I'm in the straight handstand and I'm slowly go down through a tuck. So prerequisite again is a tuck handstand. And then I'm bringing knees to chest and rolling down, so articulating down through the spine until I finish in that tuck planche position. So ideally in a planche, you're going to have your hips the same height as the shoulders or roughly the same height. When you're first learning this, I'd recommend you have a high hip to start with, so it gives you a bit of a buffer. What you don't want to do is go too low and then you'll drop down. So obviously you can test it to see whether you can do that. To understand the path, it's a good idea to be able to have a tuck jump to handstand and then eccentric back down and just be able to do that as slow as possible, both on the way up and on the way down. So then we can slow those eccentrics down. And two ways of slowing them down is we can do it against the wall, we can do it freestanding, and we can do it band assist as well. Now, band assist is not something I've really used too much, but I tried it today and it is possible to do it on the band. Now, bear in mind that I can do it without the band. So someone who's working towards it, I'm not sure how they'd go, especially it's a bit clunky being able to jump up into a handstand with a band around your hips. But have a go. Let me know how you go with that one. The wall assist is a good one, but the head does get in the way because to get down into a tuck planche, your shoulders and your head needs to go forwards. But it gives you an idea of getting that initial part because it's like an eccentric press where you have to roll the hips down bit by bit. So initially that helps, can slow you down a little bit and you can push your head against the wall. Just if you are going to have your hands far away from the wall with this one, turn the hands out. And then the other options we can, instead of thinking about, normally when you practice a tuck planche, you'd go from a squat position or your hips would be low and then you'd enter the tuck. So you'd sort of like go up into it. With this one, it's more about coming up, starting in an up position and lowering to the tuck planche. So what we can do is we can start in like a down dog position with a high hip and then bring the knees forwards, knees towards the chest, and then try and get into a tuck planche from there. And then with the eccentric freestanding, we can slowly come down. And just as we get into that tuck planche position, we could put our feet down to the floor, or we could go all the way through and end up in a kneeling position. So there are two options to go. And then just trying to get that as slow as possible. The other thing you can try and do is as you lower down, your knees and your legs are going to come between your elbows. Just push in with your elbows to create a little bit of friction. Try not to bend the elbows, but just a little bit of contact between the knees and the elbows can slow you down as well. So I would pick whichever of those drills works best for you, just to slowing down the movement as much as possible. And then every so often go back, make sure that tuck planche is really strong, make sure that handstand is really strong, and just test it. Most people that I've trained to get it have got it as a byproduct of just having a nice, slow, deep tuck, eccentric, like tuck entry to handstand, and having a nice tuck planche. So normal deal, thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated. Let me know how you go with this one. It's an interesting one, and I'll see you next time.